Hello everyone, today we are doing a more traditional style drawing video. I got my sketchbook here and I did some warm-up sketches before the video of just kind of what I wanted to draw. I'm thinking more of doing the last one or the second to last one, or the two I'm in between. Okay, so we're going to go through the sketch really quickly. I'm doing nothing fancy here, just sketching out the dragon and the fox in a kind of circular pattern. Drawing upside down traditionally is very difficult, especially when your paper is taped to your desk. I've gotten used to being able to just tilt my canvas on my iPad or turn it upside down when I need to draw something at a strange angle. So I gotta get used to not being able to do that when I draw traditionally. I'm just using a gray marker to outline the sketch. The reason I use gray is just I find black is too contrasty, and I don't really want the lines of the sketch to stand out. I want more of the color in the paint to stand out, so that's why I use the gray instead of the black. Right now I'm just adding in a light wash over the paper. I couldn't decide which color to choose, so I ended up choosing 3. I did yellow, kind of a reddy orange color, and kind of a green by the fox. My idea was to have the red above the green dragon and then the green by the red fox. I just thought that would help pull the piece together and kind of give it a more harmonious sort of feel. After that, I go and lay some flat colors on the dragon and the fox, and with some very, very simple shading. I never initially decided on a direction for the light, so I think that was one of the biggest downfalls in this piece. The shadows and highlights don't really make a lot of sense. So the watercolors I'm using are just a cheap kind of affordable brand. I don't remember what they're called, but they're nothing special. Don't worry about that. My palette is a mess. I don't clean it after I paint. This is because you can reactivate watercolor, and I just don't want to waste it, and I like all the colors I mix on it, so it doesn't bother me. I don't find that my colors get muddy. I keep them pretty separated. I think the reason I don't draw traditionally very often is just, it's not the most convenient thing. You know, it's a lot easier just to pull out your iPad and Apple Pencil instead of pulling out the water, the paint, the brushes, the paper, and then as soon as you're done painting, you gotta clean it all up. And if you don't finish the piece, then you gotta do it all again the next day. Or you can leave all the paints out, which is typically what I do. I know this makes me sound really lazy, but it takes a lot of time to get all your supplies organized and ready to paint, and when you just have that convenience of drawing right away and getting your idea down on paper or canvas, it's just much more appealing. Also, because I have a room that's just dedicated to art and my birds, I can just leave my paints out and it doesn't bother anybody else. So the kind of paper I'm using is Fabriano watercolor paper. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. It's just hot press, 140-pound paper. This is probably one of the better watercolor papers I have. I don't buy expensive watercolor paper just because I don't paint with it very often, so I don't really see the point. But because this is one of my better quality watercolor papers, I don't use it very often at all. I think I've used it maybe one other time. I have a problem when it comes to using supplies that I've either been given that are really nice supplies or ones that I bought that were a little expensive. I find I get really precious with my art supplies, and then I save them till I can make a piece that, I know is going to be good and worth the supply. And then they just end up sitting in a closet somewhere, not getting used. So this year I'm going to try to be better about that and use up the art supplies, even if they're ones that I really, really love or I've gotten given to me. I'm trying to use up some of the supplies that, you know, aren't maybe my favorite, but they're just taking up space, but I don't want to waste them. And I still enjoy them. I like using them in sketchbooks, like my Ohu markers. I really like those, but I don't really have a reason to do any big pieces with them. They're just more for sketching. For everyone who is being driven crazy by the very overworked paint on the dragon's thigh, don't worry, I do go back and fix that. It looks terribly, terribly blotchy, but like I said, I don't paint with watercolors as often as I'd like, so I don't know the fine line of overworking and not yet. I think I just end up covering it with pencil crayon. I think you can kind of see it in the end result, but hopefully it doesn't drive anybody too crazy by the end of this piece. Oh, by the way, let me know if you like the top-down view or the side view more. I switched it up a couple times in this video. I don't know which one was better. I couldn't decide which one I liked more. Definitely the top view is a lot more work to set up and a little more finicky, so I definitely used more of the side view footage for this video. Most of this video is sped up quite a bit. It's just because I'm such a slow painter that this video would have lasted hours, and I can't talk that long, so I sped it up quite a bit. Hopefully in the future, when I'm a faster painter and more comfortable with watercolor, I will be able to do a real-time video. I would like to do that at some point. Let me know if you like these traditional drawing videos or if you prefer the digital videos. I just thought it'd be fun to mix it up a little bit, and you can see my hand at drawing more traditionally. Definitely not as comfortable drawing traditionally as I am digitally, which is kind of interesting because I've drawn traditionally up until probably about 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago. So I've been drawing digitally for about 6 years, but I've been drawing traditionally since forever. So I don't know why I'm more comfortable digitally. I think it just comes with the digital media being more forgiving. When I work traditionally, I rarely ever stick to one medium. I like how all the different mediums add different textures and complement each other. If I did this piece in just watercolor, I would have ended up with that really blotchy look on the dragon, and so I ended up pulling out my Prismacolor? I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. I'm really bad at pronouncing art supply names. So I ended up pulling up my pencil crayons and then just add some more contrast and cleaned it up a bit. I think it looks much better with the pencil crayons over top. It just adds a vibrancy that wasn't there before. I never really enjoyed using pencil crayons before I started layering them over watercolor. Like, yeah, sure, I've used them. I feel like everybody's used pencil crayons before. But I found it just takes so long to cover a piece of paper in pencil crayon that it ends up hurting my hand. So I like layering over, you know, the flat wash of watercolor or gouache and then putting pencil crayon over top of it and just adding that texture and extra vibrancy. Alright, so that's it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. If you like the more traditional art videos, let me know. Maybe I'll do some more in the future. I'd like to do some more with gouache. I haven't used my gouache paints for a long time, and I really like how opaque they go down, and that I can also still use them like watercolor. So maybe we'll do a gouache video in the future. Thank you all for watching. Have a good day.